Gender equality is crap. Gender equality is just messed up, really. I think it is a ploy to destabilize us, a ploy to destabilize society. And I'm not saying that any one gender should be superior or any other one should be inferior to any other in any case. And by genders, I do mean the two that we know, female and male. I'm not going to get into all the other stuff that's there, just the basic general genders that we all know from when we were kids. Of course, we cannot be equal. We simply aren't built to be equal. We simply aren't built to do equal tasks. We have genetically evolved to do different things. We have genetically evolved to have different properties. For us to now say that, okay, no, these two types of people should be equal is an atrocity. It is a huge injustice to ourselves. It's a huge injustice to humanity. I don't have a proper stand today, so I just have my phone chilling on a chair and it's sliding. Sorry about that. So, no matter how masculine we can be as men, no matter how intelligent we can be as men, no matter how strong we can be, on a natural level, we simply cannot bear children. That is simply what we are designed to not do. We are not designed to be able to do that. We're not created for that, no matter how much we try. That natural nurturing ability that women have, that natural child production ability that they have, we simply do not have, and we cannot manufacture it. Even if we can manufacture it, that is again us trying to fight the laws of nature, trying to fight creation and evolution itself. I'm gonna have to keep fixing this. And that there is one of my reasons. Of course, there's many more why I think the equality and the word equal is just not the correct word that we should be using. I think that we should not be focusing on people being equal. I think we should be focusing on treatment being just. I think we should be focusing on consideration being just. If I'm going to be hiring a male, if I want to be hiring a female, I need to hire them justly based on their innate abilities. Of course, there are the natural abilities that people have and as a general, but there are the specific abilities that each person has. Gee, this is going to be frustrating. That people have at an individual level, and one must consider those. But as a general, understand that, okay, this person is female. Every month they're going to have to go through a menstrual cycle. Every couple of years or whatever, they're probably going to be pregnant. And for 9 months, I'm not going to be able to treat them the same way. Maybe not the whole 9 months, but for a couple of months. And for those couple of months, for a few months after they gave birth, maybe they won't be able to come to work. A few months just before they give birth, they won't be able to come to work. There are certain things, maybe they won't be able to work at heights, maybe harnesses, if they're doing manual labor that requires them to be working at heights. Harnesses may not be specifically designed to support pregnant women. There are such nuances that we need to consider. I don't think they're nuances. I'm actually not very familiar with that word. I don't really know what it means. But anyway, there are certain things that we need to understand that, look, because you're female, there are certain things that we understand that you cannot do as a general, not to discriminate anyone, not to put anyone in some sort of bracket, but it's simply to understand the realities of life. When you are driving during the day, your headlights are turned off. And when you're driving at night, your headlights are turned on. It is not because you're a man, it's not because you're a woman, it's because our eyes are not designed to see properly at night. And that is why we need the aid of headlights to see. Now, our discriminating day over light, our discriminating day over night, no, we're not. We're just simply treating it as it naturally is. And that's what I'm saying. I think with men and women, we should not try to be all feminists and say women and men should be equal and all that crap. I think it just destabilizes us. Yes, there are a lot of men who are smarter than women. There are a lot of women who are smarter than men. Of course, you cannot proudly. It's very difficult to generalize this. It is perhaps more useful in certain departments or certain fields of study than others. Um, these are things that we should look at. These are things that we should focus on. Like if you're coming in for an interview, let's look at you as an individual. What can you do? What can you provide? What value do you bring here? Let's not try and say, okay, no, we need to have more 50% of the people working here being female. And what job are you doing? What work are we talking about here? Does it make sense for half of the workforce in this place to be female? Because that then would be an equal opportunity type thing. But then we should be now looking at a just opportunity quite thing. Like, okay, looking at this in a just way, let's look for justice here. Does it make sense for this company, looking at what it does, looking at the value it provides, does it make sense for half the workforce or any of the workforce to be male? Does it make sense for half of the workforce or all the workforce or any of it to be female? Does it make sense? And if it doesn't, let us work justly, let us work accordingly. Let us not say we are going to give each kid in this world a size 5 pair of soccer boots. And yes, that is equality because everyone in the world is getting the same color, same size, same brand soccer boots. But how is that just? I don't wear size 5. The other kid who's a very good soccer player doesn't wear size 5. The other kid does wear size 5, but he's not a soccer player. She plays something else. So how is it how does it make sense? We've achieved equality. Everyone received the same thing, but then it doesn't serve everyone the same way. That kid who wears size 5, who is a great footballer, she's going to benefit. She's going to be living her life because that is she got something that she needed. But for everyone else who's perhaps good at something else, who's perhaps a different size, who perhaps plays a sport that does not require shoes, whoever, they are not being considered. And I think that is the mistake that we're making, especially when it comes to feminism, especially when it comes to, uh, you know, fighting for women and whatever. I think we forget the natural inclinations that people have, first of all. Secondly, I think we also forget the individual strengths that people hold. Not all men are the same, not all women are the same, not all human beings are the same. So I think it is important that we stop saying we're fighting for equality in terms of human beings, we're fighting for equality in terms of gender. I think what we need to be fighting for is justice. And justice means let us consider the facts, let us consider the realities, let us consider the requirements for whatever field we're looking at. Do these requirements make sense? Are we being human when we consider these realities? Are we still, when we're hiring certain people for certain jobs, are we still being human? I'd like for us to consider disabled people when we're making our hiring, when we're acquiring human resources. But then there are certain fields in which having a disabled person simply doesn't make sense. If I'm a shuttle driver, I mean, if I run a shuttle company and I need a shuttle driver, I'm not going to look for the disabled guy who's going to run out and go open the door whenever we need to pick up or drop off clients. Who's going to run out to go and carry the luggage of the clients to help them in? I need someone who's physically able to do that, and I need to consider that. Now, a company like that cannot be equally balanced between men and women, black and white, disabled and disabled. It needs to be a just transition. We need to look at things in a just manner. Yes, as a general, perhaps if 50% of the people are women and 50% of the men of the people are men, we should sort of have that type of inclination, that type of distribution in our workforce, in our different fields. But of course, there's specific requirements, there's specific desires, there's specific choices that people make that do not allow for that to be the case. So let us rather than look for equality in in gender issues, I think we should rather look for justice in gender issues. And people should get what works for them. People should get what actually works for them. If we're giving out shoes, let us give out shoes that are the right sizes, the right types, the right brands for different people, for different sports, for different applications. Let people be hired based on their merit, whether they be male or female is completely different. But let us understand the challenges that do come with each of these, and let us not try to make it be unreasonable. Remain reasonable about what we do, about the choices we make, but most importantly, let us remain humane about it and build a better future for all. Thank you so much for tuning in.